Well, is Donald Trump and his administration about to make mass arrest? Well, the truth of the matter is this rumor has been flying on both the left and the right for at least the past couple of years, and speculations have been all over the place. But bottom line here, it doesn't matter what ranking you have in the United States government or how high up your salary goes and who you are. It doesn't matter if you're a member of Congress or not. If you committed a crime that is worthy of a jail sentence, then you should be punished for that crime. And I honestly believe that this is what Doge and Donald Trump is trying to do, because far too often our people who are in the upper ranks of the government, as we're finding out through Doge, have been able to get away with many crimes. And it really ticks me off, because if you and I have done some of the stuff that USAID has done, we'd be in jail. But this is finally being called to, well, Trump's attention. Take a look at this, and this is on dailymail.co.uk. Trump considers criminal charges for USAID staff after Doge uncovered wild abuse. It goes on. Federal workers at the USAID could find themselves behind bars for fraud after Doge uncovered a massive spending scandal at the program, Daily Mail has learned. Peter Morocco, Deputy Administrator Designee at USAID, provided the House Foreign Affairs Committee with a briefing on Capitol Hill on Wednesday while discussing the review of foreign aid implemented by President Donald Trump. Morocco told the committee he is considering sending criminal recommendations to the Justice Department regarding actions within USAID being exposed by Elon Musk's Doge. Apparently, there's still judicial action that has even come out as late as this morning. Representative Keith South from Texas, who was in the meeting, told Daily Mail in an interview. They intended to refer USAID officials to the DOJ, he shared, noting how fraud is a criminal act. The Republicans shared that Morocco left open the possibility that both USAID workers and grant recipients could be recommended for crime. The great news is Donald Trump and his administration through Doge have already fired thousands of employees within USAID, as they have been noting all the fraud that has been exposed within the agency. And quite frankly, it is a lot of fraud. I don't want to rehash things that I've already rehashed here and on Restricted Republic, but I want to take you to the White House to kind of highlight some of the fraud and abuse as a quick reminder, right? And this is on the whitehouse.gov. And he's going over here the waste and abuse that runs rampant at USAID, which, by the way, USAID has nothing to do with foreign aid or aid whatsoever. That is not what it's about. This is why none of us call it USAID. We say USAID because that is the more appropriate term. But anyway, here is some of the waste and abuse that has been happening with your money. $1.5 million to advance diversity, equity, and inclusion in Siberia workplaces and business communities. Why would we want our taxpayer dollars going to that? We don't have the money to just flippantly flow out to any country for any said cause. And this is a Democrat progressive socialist cause. And then we have $70,000 for a production, a DEI musical in Ireland. Like, seriously, why? I don't want to pay for any musical, let alone DEI. And this is in Ireland. I mean, give me a break. And then we have $2.5 million for electrical vehicles in Vietnam. Again, we can't afford this. Transgender opera in Colombia, $47K, $32K for a comic book in Peru. I don't care if it's a transgender comic book or a regular comic book or whatever. We don't have $32,000 to spend in Peru for any comic book. And then, of course, $2 million for sex changes, LGBTQ activism in Guatemala. Tourism, $6 million for tourism in Europe. I mean, really? Why? All of this. Hundreds of thousands for nonprofits linked to designated terrorist organizations. That is huge. And quite frankly, insane. Millions to EcoHealth Alliance, hundreds of thousands of meals that went to Al-Qaeda affiliated fighters in Syria. Are you kidding? Are you kidding? And then, of course, funding to contraceptives and birth control and hundreds of millions of dollars to equipment and all of that was being used by the Taliban for heroin production. Yeah. And the mainstream media is out there, oh, it's fake news. No, it's not. In fact, CNN got called out for this. And I want to show you that because I think it's just interesting. And here is Libs of TikTok. CNN just quietly edited their fact check article after they reported Trump's statement on spending $8 million for making mice transgender was false. And here you could see where they said it was false when they were fact-checking his address to Congress. Trump falsely claimed the Doge identified government spending of $8 million for making mice transgender. And here is the retraction. An earlier version of this item incorrectly characterized as false Trump's claim about federal money being spent for making mice transgender. In other words, they had to retract it because our money was being spent on mice in that manner. I can't even believe the sad truth is, I mean, I don't like CNN or any media, mainstream media, because they've done nothing but lie to us. But the fact that they're defending that, I don't care what it's, if you want to be what you want. The thing is, we don't have that kind of money to be spending on that. But the fact that CNN would come out and be like, oh, no, this isn't happening, is just ridiculous. It's like you'd think they'd actually do the facts to find out if it were true first. But instead, they're pushing a political agenda. They didn't care if the fact was right or if they had to issue a retraction. It is what it is, right? And this is the kind of stuff. And then we have some craziness here that the left is literally protesting this USAID. I think they have no idea. They're clueless. Clueless lefty protesters interrupt USAID hearing, get savage for being wrong on AIDS funding. That was a really interesting clip because they came in, right? Some of these leftist protesters came in and they interrupted the hearing. If you were a Democrat, I would call that an insurrection, right? Anyway, but they're like, fund the AIDS again. And the guy's like, we didn't take away that funding. It's still being funded. So your entire protest was irrelevant, right? But these are the kinds of things that we have been seeing within the Democrat Party. Ergo, right? This leads me back kind of to the original USAID, right? Staff within that are now being considered for criminal charges. And by the way, right, because of all this fraud that we've been talking about and all this abuse that has been going on, and I really think it goes deeper than anything I've shown you today. In fact, I wanted to go on Google Trends. I went to Google Trends, right? Because I've been watching the trends in the District of Columbia over the past couple of weeks to see what is spiking, and money laundering term has spiked within the last 30 days, specifically in the District of Columbia, right? So a lot of fraud apparently could very well be happening, and people are like, what the hell is going on? But there is a massive spike over the last 30 days in money laundering and people looking that up. By the way, if you really want to be in the know of what's going on, get to restrictedrepublic.com. I've got a lot to share with you on this broadcast. I'm going to be sharing, we share exclusive videos, Justice Knight and myself, 5 days a week on Restricted Republic, ones that you're not getting here. And by the way, all our YouTube videos are also posted there without any commercials. But get there, use the coupon code Lisa and the number 5, become a subscriber today. You are not going to regret it. And it's less than a cup of coffee if you use that coupon code Lisa and the number 5. And it really supports what we're doing and us getting information to you guys. But check it out at restrictedrepublic.com. I really hope to see you guys there. But with that, considering all of the above, the Supreme Court has also made a rather bad decision regarding this USAID, and I'm going to show you that here. And this is on zerohedge.com. I'm stunned. SCOTUS dissenters rage as liberals unfreeze $2 billion of our dollars in USAID foreign aid payments. In a 5-4 vote, The U.S. Supreme Court refused to bolster President Trump's foreign aid freeze, reinstating a lower court order that requires the quick disbursement of as much as $2 billion owed to contractors for already completed work. Over 4 dissents, the justices rejected Trump's request to toss out the trial court order, which affects money owed by the U.S. Agency for International Development and State Department. The dissent by Justice Alito, Thomas, Gorsuch, and Kavanaugh was extremely strongly worded. And here's what they say. Does a single district court judge who likely lacks jurisdiction have the unchecked power to compel the government of the United States to pay out and probably lose forever $2 billion taxpayer dollars? The answer to that question should be an empathetic no. But a majority of this court apparently thinks otherwise. I am stunned. And rightly so, and I agree with that, because that really is giving the power to the Supreme Court over the power of the executive office and over the government to say where our money goes. This is just insane. But the two that went against and joined the liberals are John Roberts and Justice Amy Coney Barrett. So those are the two that kind of went on the deep end on that. But here's some good news, I guess, on this. Not really, but the decision only affects completed work, not future freezes. The ruling compels the government to release funds for work that had already been completed before February 13th, 2025. However, it does not block the administration from continuing to pause or cut future foreign assistance. Trump's border agenda of cutting USAID funding may continue for projects that were not yet underway. Now, Jonathan Turley kind of gives us some hope on this, and he put this out on his website. You can see the title there, but here's what he says about this ruling and how things could potentially still come out in our favor-ish, right? The key here is that this was a controversial move to review a TRO, which is generally not reviewable. What is clear is that there are 4 justices who were still prepared to do so and would obviously be likely to grant review in the next round. That next round would come after the hearing on the preliminary injunction, which is scheduled for March 6th. It can then be appealed to those awaiting justices. Only 4 are needed to grant review. So obviously you do the math. And we have the 4 that we need to grant that review, right? Obviously. So I'm not liking that ruling simply because we have been exposed to so much corruption in the USAID. It is a one big, as I like to say, money laundering scheme for the Democrats, right? So the Democrats give all their money to their NGOs, and basically the NGOs give it back to the Democrats. And maybe this is one of the reasons why they are fighting so hard to keep these programs. Excuse me. But Representative Thomas Massie came up with a great idea for all of this. And Congress is the one who is in charge of our money, right? And I think we need to do this, especially now that we control the House and the Senate, and we need to do it today, like now. The Gateway Pundit. Representative Thomas Massie demands Congress cut off USAID funding after the Supreme Court's outrageous ruling. Representative Thomas Massie wasted no time in calling for drastic measures to curb this madness. Massie, the only Republican who refused to vote on the latest bloated spending bill, laid out the only logical path forward. The solution to this problem is obvious. Congress must quit sending the damn money to USAID. Republicans now control the House and Senate. Yet here we are, facing a vote and a continuing resolution next week that would fund everything in 2025 as it was funded in 2024. In other words, let's cut out the funds to the USAID once and for all. And I think this is what Congress needs to vote on and something that we need to do. It'd be great, right? Meanwhile, I talked at the beginning of this video how Donald Trump is considering criminal charges for officials who committed fraud at USAID. And that's not the only thing that's happening regarding potential arrests, right? I'm going to go on a different topic here, but I want you guys to be aware of all of it. I also have this on the Gateway Pundit. GOP Congresswoman Anna Paulina Luna criminally refers mayors of sanctuary cities to DOJ for investigation. Now, during this meeting or House Oversight Committee just this past Wednesday, Representative Virginia Fox forced the mayors to admit how much they were spending on illegal aliens. Chicago spent 574-ish, Denver 79 million-ish, and New York City 6.9 billion. These are massive amounts of money. And here's what she says regarding all of that in her speech here. Take a listen.
Me, after this line of questioning, it's very clear that these policies that you have all implicated are active and alive and well in your cities, are in direct violation with U.S. Title 8, Code subsection 1324, and it is a federal offense. But you all speak about a broken immigration system, and yet here you guys are aiding and abetting in that entire process. I want to be very clear about something. Open border policies, which is something that you guys are talking about, hurts people on both sides, meaning the people that are coming here illegally and then American citizens as well. I do not think you guys are bad people, but I think that you are ideologically misled, which is why, unfortunately, based on your responses, I'm all going to be criminally referring you to the Department of Justice for investigation. And as soon as I leave here, these will be going over to Pam Bondi. I'm not doing that in an effort to bully you guys, but I do believe that your policies are hurting the American people, and you can make that known with the evidence that you can present to the Department of Justice. But if you guys continue doing what you're doing, you're not going to help anyone. You're going to hurt.
You're going to hurt people. So she's referring them to the DOJ for criminal prosecution. Now, let me be frank. I highly doubt anything will happen to them, in all honesty, under any administration right now, but maybe I'm wrong. I hope I am. But either way, the referral has been sent. I'm not sure what Pam Bondi will do with any of it, but I guess time will tell. History shows that they've been allowed to get away with their crimes and stuff for a very long time. And if they violated that code, there should be some repercussions, right? But anyway, people can fight on the other side of that as well and be like, oh, a sanctuary city, it's a loophole, anything of that nature. And again, I don't think anything's going to come of it, right? But anyway, wanted to share it with you and let you guys know everything regarding that. Anyhow, again, please get to Restricted Republic. We do some of our best work over there at Restricted Republic. Use that coupon code Lisa and the number 5 to get the discount on that. Lots of great stuff that we're sharing over there, and the information that you're getting here on YouTube. Well, it's not really free, right? They pick the content they want to show you, put stuff higher on the search engine and the whole 9 yards. And over at Restricted Republic, that's not what we're doing. We're giving you the truth to what's really going on. So please, I hope to see you at restrictedrepublic.com. Get there now. Anyhow, I love all of you. I'm Lisa Haven, signing out.